Hey guys, welcome back to another edition of VGU Plays Dark Souls 2 with Jeff, everyone's favourite mage, and the expert of Coles from VideoGamesUncovered.com. So last time we met up with Mild-Mannered Pate. Now, the interesting story about Mild-Mannered Pate is that he came to this world with another adventurer, and by the looks of things, the other adventurer went on to this little area without him, and ended up getting stuck on the other side of the gate. We're going to see that other character later on in the game. But effectively, I think Pate's not telling the truth completely. And also, Pate does say that he is holding that guy's ring. And I have to say, that guy's ring is pretty darn interesting. We'll get to that, hopefully, in this episode. So the trick to this area is that when you get past the gate will close behind you, and you've got a couple of grunts to kickstart everything outside. Then when you get inside, you've got these three guys. Sword guy, spear guy, and my personal favourite, halberd guy. Relatively easy to take out, all you need is a little bit of room, so of course you can kite these guys to the outside and give yourself as much room as you have ever wanted. And I'm just going to finish this guy off with a dagger to save up my soul arrows, because I'm running relatively low. I have enough to finish off the rest of the enemies in this area, just to get what I want. But I still need to keep an eye on it, just in case I miss cast anything whatsoever. It's like that note says, it's vision of something or other. You need to keep tabs, you need to keep reading those notes. Because some of them are troll notes, don't get me wrong, but time and again you're going to get notes from really good players that are going to be telling you some really good advice. Especially if any of them say that there are mimics instead of chests. They will help you out long time. So this place is relatively easy. You've got another 3 enemies, but 2 will be aggroed to you straight away as soon as you start climbing up here. 1 melee guy and 1 archer, very easy. But then when you go around the corner over here, there's the 3rd guy, who sometimes gets interested, other times isn't really that interested in the fight with the other peeps, so it's fine. And of course, we meet another Praise the Sun note, so we have to rate it up. You know how the rule is, you see the sun, you praise the sun, you rate the sun. You just gotta do it, you just gotta do it. As you can see here, we've now gone full circle, and we can jump on down and talk to Pate again.
Well, I see. I hope that brave warrior didn't come a crop. Be careful out there. There's talk of unsavory bandits who... Oh. But you should take this.
And thus, ladies and gentlemen, that is why you want to keep Pate alive for now. You want to get the white sign soapstone so you can basically create the big white sign that allows people to summon you into their world so you can help them out fight bosses, and also reap the rewards such as gaining extra souls and also gaining unique items you can only gain by helping people out in PvE, which is pretty darn awesome. Now, one thing that I do here is that I use one of my amber herbs just to get up a few charges of my soul arrows back, because now we're gonna kill off Pate. So I'm only killing Pate because I know he gives me a ring, which will be relatively cool to have, just in general. But here's the tidbit: if you kill Pate here, you can't use Pate as a summon companion when you go against the first boss in this area. So that's the drawback. You either kill Pate here and get the rewards, or you don't kill Pate at all and you use him as an ally against the first boss. I think half the time it's actually better killing Pate, because chances are you're going to bump into other summon signs of other people playing Dark Souls 2 anyway, so that's absolutely fine. Besides, the first boss is not that hard once you get to know exactly what he's capable of doing, and is relatively easy to dodge at that. And as you can see there, Mild-Mannered Pate had to find out the hard way when it comes to turning your back on Jeff. No one turns their back on Jeff. No one. Now, as you can see here, we also get Pate's Spear, a fantastic thrusting spear weapon for anyone that really likes spears early on. Great weapon to build towards with dexterity and strength. So definitely one to look out for if you are interested. But this is the one I want to get, the Ring of Thorns. Now, the Ring of Thorns is actually quite interesting. Upon being attacked, you have a chance of sending out thorns from your person in about a mini cone in front of you, and it will be sent in a random direction every single time. And effectively, those thorns will damage any enemy that is nearby within the range that you were hit. So that's pretty cool. It's not the best ring in the world by any stretch of the means, and I wouldn't even go to the extent of saying that you can build an entire set around that one ring, because I don't think that's viable. But for this stage early on, and when you get to those little itty-pitty moments of fighting, yeah, really helps. Now, what I'm going to show you guys here is something really interesting that you can do. I'm going to put down my sign over here because that's going to hint towards what I'm going to be doing off screen just for a little bit after we're done. But effectively, if you come up here, normally you're not supposed to come into this room until you have a soldier key, which you get for defeating the first boss of this area. However, you can bash your way through it, which is fantastic. And after bashing your way through it, you can actually gain access to another Estus Flask Shard. It's not in this chest, it's in the chest behind that wooden door over there. As you can see, I'm going to attack this enemy, and as I attack the enemy, I'm a being summoned like a phantom of a night. I'm going to see if I can't open the chest in time. Sadly, I can't. But oh well. That chest actually has a really nice axe. Either that chest has the axe, or in that room there is a very nice axe you can pick up as well. Actually is one of the best melee weapons you can get early on in the game. Very good strength values, just very good damage overall actually. Very, very good indeed. I definitely recommend picking that up if you like melee builds, and if you also like the axe movesets, because the axe movesets are probably one of the best movesets, especially with two-handed axe wielding. I'm not a big fan of it just because I prefer swords. I'm a big sword guy, but heck, you gotta love axes. You gotta give the love to them. So yes, this is something I'm going to be doing off screen just for a little bit. I'm going to be doing about 3 or 4 summon runs of beating the first boss of this game, or at least of this area. You can't really say first boss of the game, since the first boss of the game is really dependent on which direction you take as a player, which I think is a fantastic add-on. So we're going to be heading over to the boss this way, which is the last giant. Really, really admire this boss fight. There's a lot of lore behind this guy. Simply because, number one, obviously he's the last giant, but it's the fact that he's down in this pit. By the looks of things, he's been chained up. He's been attempted to be killed before, by the looks of things, with all the things sticking out of his back and sticking throughout his body. It's just a very interesting fight to have as one of your first fights in the game, and I really admire it. So let's see how well I do as a summon spirit, and effectively I'm going to let you guys see how I do against the boss as, well, as a summon spirit. And I'm going to be joining back with you guys next time on VGU Plays Dark Souls 2, when we go towards fighting the boss ourselves. Until then guys, enjoy the boss fight, and I'll be seeing you on the other side.